Hello, my YouTube family. This is Rick Sutliff on our new chapter channel. We're out in the backyard playing at the moment with this muddy little ball. Hey, I've always thought of this channel as being about adventure and exploring. Exploring new things, new places, new activities, all sorts of things. So, I have a special treat for you, I think. If you're not interested in what is coming up, just skip on, but I think most of you are. So, I had, back in October, I had my son here. We went for a lot of things, went and saw museums and forests and hikes and mountains and all sorts of things. But one of them particularly was kind of like a dud trip, but I made plans to go back in a special way, and this is the video of that day. And I think you might want to do this someday. If you ever get a chance, do it. I'm not going to tell you right off what it's all about, but you do have to wear this hat to do it. So here goes. Come along on an adventure with me. So if you haven't figured it out quite yet, it's going back to the North Carolina Transportation Museum and playing on a steam train. They've just pulled it out of the garage and they've got the fire going. When they first get the fire started, it's pretty black and ugly. So there's a lot to setting up a steam train. They have to get the fire burning, and then they have to get the steam up. Once they get the steam up, the whole train runs on steam. The brakes, the fire bed, the generators, everything runs on steam. So, in fact, they put air into the boiler with steam, compressed air blown into the boiler, so it gets hotter, and that makes the smoke turn white because it's a better burn. But they have to go through the whole train and get all the systems cleaned out of any water that settled in those pipes, because water and steam, believe it or not, don't mix very well.
Give you some instructions and you'll be good to go. You done this before?
No. Yeah, it ain't bringing.
It's quite an event. They're all volunteers. Nobody's paid, but it's all volunteers. And so I'm doing the required walk around to make sure the wheels are still round and nobody's got a flat tire. Make sure everything's going to run. As if I had the foggiest idea what was going to happen here. The back of the engine has a plate in it because normally it would have a coal car behind it, and they shove it direct, but this is going to be a short run, so they just shovel it out of the rear of the cab. And so it's my turn to get in with the boys, and we're talking all about steam and boilers and the safety of a 40-ton fire box running down the rails at 90 miles an hour. What am I doing getting on this moving bomb?
I'll be making steam for you on the trip, so I won't die up on the hill.
He shovels the coal, and that gauge up in the top in the middle, you'll see that in a second. That tells you the steam pressure. It's got to stay straight up. And these are the brakes and some of the other lines that are running other things. You'll learn what those levers are. Here comes the actual engineer.
This is the Johnson bar. I don't know how much you know about it. I'll just give it to you like you know about it.
I know it's big, it's black, and it runs on steam and coal, right?
That's good. This is the Johnson bar. That's forward and reverse. This is the throttle. That's what I was telling you. Forward is off. When you get right here, it stops. What you're doing is you're opening the valve up in the steam dump. Yeah. Okay. Well, I won't let you begin.
You're going to be here.
I'll be there. All right. First thing you do, Johnson bar all the way forward. And I'll tell you how far we're going each way. All right. Now bring the throttle out. All right. Release the brake first. Now, it's flag right now. And release is over there. Okay. All right. That's good. Now come out on the throttle till you feel it get stiff. There you go.
Before I got in the train, all the other engineers and workers were telling me if I pulled that throttle back really hard, I could do a wheelie. I'm not sure a 40-ton wheelie and a train would be all that good, but there I am, driving the train, starting out slow. But we got it up to 10 or 15 miles an hour, I think. It felt more like 60 or 70 with the track we were on. But we went up this little spur, I don't know, probably a quarter mile or so. And he was telling me they just fixed the track. And if that was fixed, I was worried.
Barely get it moving. Get the engine moving. Johnson bar, back to the control. Release the brake.
We went back and forth on this about 3 times before we finally I felt pretty confident I was doing it all right. It was kind of not much to do. Release the brake, pull the whistle, and pull the throttle. And so I was doing all right, so he decided to play with the whistle. We went between 2 other tracks that were actually in use with the touring train that took people on excursions. So we were kind of in between those 2 trains, but it was an awful lot of fun. I mean, it was pretty cool.
Center that. Open the cylinder cock. The little valve down there. Great. Perfect. I'd say that's it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it.
It was great. I had an awesome time.
Any other input?
We'll see if I get any actual film out of the video.
Now it was the next guy's turn, and he opens the throttle a little hard to begin with. But it's a touchy little thing, but it's pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed this. If you ever want to do it, it's roughly $200 for 30 minutes. And it's fun. It's a little tiny engine, but it's still fun. The North Carolina Transportation Museum in Spencer, North Carolina, they do this Saturday mornings, March and April, for the last 5 years. So if you got a chance, I would recommend it without a question. It's $200, well worth it, and you get a free hat that's roughly worth $10. So, hey, what can you say?